Good morning, Course 2. Mr. Belky back with Lesson 107. Today we're going to be talking about the slope of a line. Okay, and to do that, we're going to be working with coordinate planes, which, remember, coordinate plane, you have both an x-axis, that's the horizontal axis, and the y-axis, which is the vertical axis. All right, so if I have lines, each of those lines has a certain slope. You can tell if they are steeper or more gradual. And there's a certain way that we classify each of these. So first, let's take a look at positive and negative slopes. Okay, so a line is said to have a positive slope if, going from left to right, it goes in the upward direction. So if it's going up, no matter how subtle, that's said to have a positive slope. So this line also would have a positive slope, and this line is much steeper in its slope than this line. Okay, but they're both positive. They're both going in an upward direction from left to right. Whereas this one is going down as we go from left to right, and so it's said to have a negative slope. Okay, so we're going to take a look now at how to measure each of these slopes, or how to communicate what the slope is. Each slope has a specific number, and that'll come into play later when we're looking at linear equations and equations for a line. We'll need to know the slope, but for right now, we're going to take a look at how we can identify the slope of the line. And the slope of the line is the rise over the run. So what do I mean by rise over run? The rise is talking about how far up or how far down it goes, so the change in y, over how far left and right it goes. The run, the change in x. Okay, so it's y over x. So let's take a look. This guy here. So this point right here is point -1, -2, -1, -2. Okay, now at the next intersection, which is right here, we're at point +1, -1. We're at point +1, -1. Now, like I said, it is the change in y over the change in x. So to go from this point to this point, how far up did we go? We went up 1, right? This is 1 higher. So the change in y would be 1. The change in x, how far did we go over from this point to this point? We went over 2 spaces. Okay, so we went up 1 over 2. So the slope of this line would be 1/2. Okay, and we know it's positive because it's going up from left to right. Now, we can also see that it intersects here. So what if we didn't see that point and we just went straight to this one? Well, we would go, to get there, we'd have to go up 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 2 over 4. And you can see that 2/4 would reduce down to 1/2. So it still has a slope of positive 1/2. Now, let's take a look at this one. This one is a negative slope. As we go from left to right, it goes down. Okay, so let's find a couple intersections. Here's one intersecting point. It's at -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, 5. Here's another intersecting point. It's at 0, 2. Okay, so to find the slope of this line, we go down 1, 2, 3. So we go down 3, and we show down 3 by a negative, just like we would also show, if I'm going left, we would use a negative there. Down 3 to the right, 1. So -3 over 1, which is the same as -3. So we would just say that this has a slope of -3, which is -3 over 1, the rise over the run. And that's all there is to finding the slope of a line. You simply look at the rise and the run and calculate it that way. So here, the rise, it's going down 1, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1 over 4. So this would be a slope of -1 over 4, or -1/4. Okay, this one's going up. Let's see. Here's an intersection, and here's an intersection. It goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So up 5 over 1, this would be a slope of 5. Okay. There are two other terms that we have to take into account. One is, what if we have a straight horizontal line? A horizontal line would have no slope. Okay, the slope is 0 for that line. It's not going up, it's not sloping, it's completely flat. The other one is if we have a vertical line. A vertical line would be said to have an undefined slope. We haven't defined it, okay, because it's not going left and right, it's just straight up and down. Okay, so no slope and undefined. That's all you need to know for today in the lesson on slope. As always, if you have any questions, please call, text, email, or meet me online tomorrow between 9 and 10 o'clock. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.